Without a shadow of a doubt, it's the Crockett Show in social media history. I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone. Get on the phone and call your people because tonight is going to get hot. And tell them that little dude is on the screen. You know me. I'm the 5-star general. Mayor Sylvester Turner is doing a gun buyback program. And he thinks the criminals are going to sell him his guns. I don't think so, Mr. Mayor. But let's get to it. Say, man, I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone and tell you thank you for taking the time out to tune in. You know, without you guys, I wouldn't have a show. So it's very important for me to always remind you that you are the most important people walking the planet when it comes to me doing what I need to do. Hold on, let's set our privacy settings. Make sure we got this thing everywhere. Done. Let's change it. I want to start this off because I was thinking about something today. I was really thinking about something. I was thinking about high school football athletes and how parents put them on pedestals and their son is this and that. And, you know, he's the number one recruit, but your child can't read. Your child ain't coming to school. Your child is a disruption in the school environment. But he's the number one recruit, but your child can't read. So what's more important, your child being able to read or being a recruit that's not going to go to school when it's all said and done because he can't pass the exit exams or he can't pass the SAT, the ACT, whatever. Your parents need to do something different because it ain't working. I want to start off tonight by saying that the mayor of Houston has decided that he's going to do something very unique. They've done it across the country. It's called a gun buyback program. And they're going to buy back guns with no questions asked. And all you got to do is just turn them in. Who you think going to turn their guns in? Man, you setting people up to get their houses robbed, man. Look, I'm not going to knock everything this man do, but some things ain't worth a damn. I'm going to go in depth on this thing about this gun buyback program. So let's go on and share the screen and let's see what we come up with. Yeah, you see it right there. Mayor Turner is going to be hosting a gun buyback program to reduce the number of firearms in Houston. The event will be held Saturday, July 30th from 8 a.m. to noon at Wheeler Avenue Baptist Church. The people you need to buy the guns back from don't go to church. So who you plan on getting these guns from? Homeowners that have too many guns and they want to just turn them in? Does this actually work? But let's keep looking at the buyback program. Let's see what they're talking about. So, San Francisco, California, August 8th. Surrendered firearms sit on the table during a gun back event on August 8th, 2013 in San Francisco, California. Dozens of guns were turned in during a one-day buyback program in San Francisco's Mission District, put on by San Francisco city officials in hopes of reducing violence in the area. $100 was given for each working gun that was turned in, and $200 was given for assault rifles. So let's see what the mayor of Houston is actually talking about. Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner will be hosting a gun buyback program in an effort to reduce the number of guns in the community. The event will be held Saturday, August 30th from 8 a.m. to noon at Wheeler Avenue Baptist Church, which is at 3826 Wheeler Avenue. How it works is members of the Houston Police Department will be stationed at the collection site above, prepared to collect guns with no questions asked. Those interested in getting rid of their guns should unload their firearm before arriving at the collection site. Place the gun in the trunk or rear of the vehicle. An HPD personnel will remove the gun from the vehicle. They will check to see if the firearm is unloaded and render it safe. Once the weapon is collected, the person donating will receive a receipt to exchange for a gift card. Gift cards are $50 for a non-functioning firearm, $100 for rifles and shotguns, $150 for handguns, and $200 for automatic rifles. This event is part of the One Safe Houston initiative, which is a $53 million investment aimed at crime reduction. The initiative focuses on 4 key areas, which include violence reduction and crime prevention, crime intervention, response and recovery, youth outreach opportunities, and key community partnerships. The Gun Buyback Program is in partnership with Harris County Precinct 1, Rodney Ellis, the Houston Police Department, and Wheeler Avenue Baptist Church. More details on this event is expected at a later date. So they're going to buy back the guns in the Black community. Black people ain't shooting up no schools. But you come in our community to buy back the guns, right? So do you plan on doing this in River Oaks? Do you plan on doing this in Memorial? No, because they're not going to allow it. They're not going to allow it. And from an economic standpoint, I've already said this, Thunder. You know how much a AR-15 costs? Or an automatic rifle cost? And you're going to give them $200 to turn in a gun that they probably paid $1,200 for. See, Mr. Mayor, I told you to do this 6 years ago before it got out of hand. You laughed. You just basically, you gave me that look like get the hell up out of city council. So now the question is do gun buyback programs work? Does the data show that these gun buyback programs actually work? Well, you know me, I went digging and I found some information. Let's share the screen. Let's share the screen. All right, we're going to share this screen. We're going to go back up here to an article that was written on April 18th, 2022. And it says, gun buyback programs take weapons out of circulation, but experts say there's no evidence the programs reduce violence. So let's go in here. Chicago officials launched a fundraising campaign to support the city's largest ever gun buyback program with a goal of raising $1 million to entice people to turn guns in during 2 large events this year. Mayor Lori Lightfoot called it a bold new initiative and said it would get guns out the hands of dangerous people. Chicago and other cities have been running these programs for decades, often trading gift cards of $100 or so for guns and some lesser amount for replica guns. Chicago officials annually take in hundreds of guns through buyback programs, but decades of research show such programs don't reduce gun violence, in large part because they don't result in guns being taken from people who aren't supposed to have them. One recent study found no evidence that gun buyback programs reduce suicides or homicides where firearms are involved. I want to stop right there for a second. What did I just say a few seconds ago? The people you need to turn the guns in ain't turning them in. And now what you're doing is you're making people targets because the killers and the jackals going to be watching to see who turning their guns in like fools so that they can rob them too. Listen to what I'm saying. The people that you need to get the guns out of their hands are not going to turn their guns in. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So let's go back and let's read a little bit more. We're at the wrong thing. There we go. Let's make sure we're there. Okay, so we are there. These types of programs are common in cities across America, and Chicago's goal is ambitious compared to other programs. Long Beach, California, police took in 280 guns at an event in September. More than 250 were turned in at an event last summer. In DeSoto, Texas, police in Albany, Georgia collected 40 this way last spring. Here's what I need you to hear. It's good theater, but it's not helping with gangs and drug dealers and everyone else using guns, says Joseph Giancarlo, retired NYPD sergeant and current professor at John Jay College. These things are dog and pony shows. Look, $1 million to do all this stuff is not going to help violence in Chicago or anywhere else one iota. It feels good. It's to make look like politicians are going to do something, but it means absolutely nothing. I totally agree with him. This is a grand opportunity for some elected officials to show up at this event, especially the ones that are running for re-election, so they can look like they're doing something about crime. $53 million is what you're investing into a program that has proven not to work. $53 million. It hasn't worked since you tried it, since you started, since you stole our plan, and you changed a few words here and there, and you tried to make it work. Now, I'm going to have a real conversation tonight because I got to break it down to the lowest common denominator. I got to break it all the way down. You gave $53 million to Harris Health. What the fuck the people at the hospital going to be able to do about gun violence? I'm just asking. You gave $53 million to these people. But if it doesn't stop the drug dealers from having the guns, if it doesn't stop the gang members from having the gun, how much of that $53 million have you allocated for somebody to deal directly with the people that are causing the mayhem? Nothing. You've invested nothing. And you really are sitting here trying to tell us you're going to buy back some guns. Yeah, you're going to buy back some guns from some suckers. That's what you're going to do. From some suckers that's going to turn their guns in and possibly get their wig split open on their way home. This ain't the time not to have a gun. I'm just being straight up with you. And all these people out here with I get it. But why you doing this in the black community? Black people ain't shooting up schools, dude. Why don't you go to the communities that are directly affected by this at the moment? You know why? Because them good white folk gonna run y'all ass about their communities with that foolishness. You think old Jed Clampett gonna give up that musket? You crazy as hell. Say, man, I don't know what you people are thinking about, what you people trying to do, but why don't you go over there to their community because they're really being affected by this gun violence and these shootings at these schools and all that. And it affects all of us. But this is where it's happening. See, when we were selling dope in the hood, you had the war on drugs. You came to the hood to deal with the war on drugs. So now you got this mass shooting problem. But you're not going to the communities where it's happening. You're not going to their communities and have these people in the uproar. But you're going to come on down here to the plantation where those that are sitting on the porch singing the song, "Oh, nigga, what you gonna say when freedom come your way?" That's gonna believe everything you spitting, thinking that you're doing some good, when in all actuality, you're just trying to take another picture. Run trail, they do not run your background. You just turn the gun in. So you're a good dude. Go turn your gun in. If you got 3 or 4, go turn one in. You just short of guns now. Because them dudes on the streets ain't giving up theirs. They ain't giving up their guns, man. They no, they not finna do that. So once again, we are doing something that's costing taxpayers money, not getting tangible results, just so some ignoramuses who seem to want to run everything because they the local politician can look good. So that you can look good. You won't invest any real money into the problem. You've invested $53 million into your friends at Harris Health so you can get that kickback money. But you ain't, dude. Mr. Mayor, you turning in your guns? Because you ain't going to have a security detail forever. You turning in your guns? Won't you go ask some of them crooked-ass cops that's patrolling our neighborhoods to turn in they drop guns? Oh, you don't know what those are, Mr. Mayor? Those the ones they drop on us in certain crimes where they just leave a gun right next to us and say it was ours. Won't you tell them turn them guns in? HPD got tons of them. They got tons of them. Why don't you have them crooked cops turn they extra guns in? You want people to believe in what you're saying. You people are not forthcoming when it comes to solving violent crimes or gun-related crimes. You people are not forthcoming. You people are not serious. Because if you were serious, then you would do something better than what you're doing. And the reason that you are not serious because nobody in your family has been murdered unjustly in the streets of Houston or Harris County. And until that happens, you will not do anything tangible to fix the problem. So gun buyback programs have been proven not to work because you're not taking the guns out the hands of the criminals. The criminals ain't giving up their guns. What plumber goes to do a job and don't have his tools? What criminal gonna give up his tool? That is not going to happen. The criminals ain't giving up their tools. What plumber, let me say it again, goes to do a plumbing job and does not bring his tools? Criminals' tools are guns. So unless you come up with some sucker shit that makes sense, you're really just going to have a bunch of church members turning in their guns. You're going to have a bunch of blood of Jesus people turning in their guns. A bunch of church members turning in their guns while the criminals going to be loading up. Many boys that broke in pawn shops, gun stores, everything. They have an arsenal of weapons. And they're just going to wake up on July 30th, show up at Wheeler Avenue Baptist Church. Out of all the places that you could have a gun buyback program, you do it at the church. You do it at the church. I don't know what's wrong on that. Everybody else can hear me. You involve your pastors in your foolishness because they on the payroll. Let's see if the pastor turned his gun in. Let's see if Pastor Marcus Crosby from Wheeler Avenue Baptist Church turns his gun in on the day you do the gun buyback program. Well, I tell you what, Pastor Crosby, and you're a great man. You better get in the mind frame of Gary Monroe. They better try Jesus and don't try me. Is there anything else that we can do to curb violence in this city? Is there anything else that we can do to slow down gun-related crimes? There's a lot that we can do. You invested $53 million of our tax money into a bunch of shit that don't work. And you want us to keep sitting here believing that you're addressing the problem. I'll go back to where I started. You're not addressing the problem because you're not going to the communities that is directly affected by mass shootings at the moment. You'll say, well, the people got killed in Buffalo in a black community. The people got killed at those 9 people got killed at that church in a black community. But it wasn't black folk that did it. So you're going to have to stop coming to our community, making us the scapegoat for everything that's going on, and take this where you really need to take this. And Thunder, you got me laughing over here, inside. Because Thunder say, I don't know why, but for some reason in my mind, if there's a gun buyback program at a Baptist church, I see a lot of snub-nosed 38 special revolvers, 380s. You ain't finna get no heavy artillery, bro. See, when you had the opportunity to go down to these communities and make a difference, remember when you had us to go talk to the gang members in South Union because they were going to put a gang injunction on that community? And then everybody didn't want that gang injunction except for me. But the thing is we went down and we talked to the natives who at that time were willing to make the change, who were willing to put the guns down. You had us go down there and talk to them killers, and they listened to us. And as soon as you Negroes in power felt that everything was all gravy, you took the deal off the table to help them. Do it the right way. Get on their feet. Provide for their families. You came up missing. And you didn't do anything for them. You know exactly what it takes to curb violence But you Negroes are so caught up on making money that you ain't doing nothing tangible. So is gun violence a black or a white problem? It's a everybody problem. It's a everybody problem. So, Mr. Mayor, we won't take you serious in Southeast Houston. We won't take you serious in Third Ward. We won't take you serious in Northeast Houston on the South Side, Harlem Clark, for one reason. When you make this an everybody problem and you address everybody of every ethnicity, take your ass to Chinatown with that shit. Take your ass to River Oaks with that shit. Then people might take you serious because you're addressing the city as a whole. What you've done once again is you've alienated the communities that really need to be hearing this. And you're forcing this down the throats of people in the community that's just been dealing with the same things for years. I peeped your game long time ago, homie. I don't care if you like me or not, man. I mean, I never embraced you as the mayor of Houston because I know you didn't have anything in your heart for black people. I'm just telling you the truth of what I feel. You are by far the worst mayor that we've ever had since I've been breathing, and I've been here 54 years. You're the worst mayor that we've ever had. Rodney Ellis is the worst county commissioner we've ever had. Lena Hidalgo is the worst county judge that we've ever had. And ever since you clowns showed up, Houston and Harris County has gone haywire. Crime is through the roof, just like in every other city that I go to that's democratically controlled. You and your fancy games with bail reform, you've screwed it all up. Now you want to throw it on the judges, the ones that you endorse, Mr. Ellis, with your own money. All them judges you put money behind that's on the bench right now that you're throwing under the bus for bail reform? Y'all played stupid games and you just started getting stupid prizes. And now you don't know what to do. You don't know how to handle it. Everybody lying to the people. This is what we need to do. And let me ask you a question. You're doing a gun buyback program like Chicago. Are you fucking serious? So we want to be like Chicago. Love the Windy City. Violence is through the roof. So you can't take a blueprint from Chicago to deal with violence because you're running neck and neck. That's like the pot calling the kettle black. You're running neck and neck. So this gun buyback program is nothing more than another photo op. Watch how many politicians show up out there for that. Watch, they got to do a big press conference, and watch how many of them Negroes show up. Watch how many cops is there. This is a game. But since you come to my community, I think the OG will be there too. I ain't borrowing no plex. Anytime I'm in town, I'm not borrowing no plex. I'm going to be wherever I need to be calling you clowns out because you a joke. You have no solidified plan to deal with the people who are actually committing the crimes. You have no plan to deal with the people who are actually committing the crimes. You have us in a very bad position, Mr. Mayor. And your friends gonna feel it in November. They're gonna feel it at the polls. It's no way that y'all can continue to vote these people in the office with where we are right now as a community. There's no way you can vote these people back in office where we are right now as a country. We're hurting bad, the worst that we've ever been. It's no way. They're guinea pigging us across the board. It used to just be the black community they did it to. But now they're doing it to everybody. They're doing it to every community. All y'all targets, man. Man, let me tell you something. If you want to go turn your gun in, go turn your gun in. But if you smart, you won't. You have a constitutional right to protect your family. And right now is not the time to play these political games with these people who walk around with security every day. No, what we dealing with, they don't deal with. Let's get that straight, man. What we dealing with, they don't deal with. You know why a lot of politicians were in the front of the line for the march when George Floyd got killed in Houston? Because they were wearing bulletproof vests. I know that for a fact. All the rest of y'all was out there just marching. But they were wearing bulletproof vests. They, some kind of way, they're going to have an extra layer of protection when we don't. And right now, our only layer of protection is making sure that we have a firearm to protect our homes and to protect our persons when we're out and about. And don't let anybody trick you into believing that this is going to lower crime, because it's not. It's going to make you vulnerable. If it doesn't do anything else, it's going to make you vulnerable. It's going to make you a target. You know how many cars going to get broken into on the 30th? You know, if they stop and get gas or whatever, because people going to think they got guns on in their cars that they go and turn in. These people are setting people up. So, you know, when I think about it, it's not a smart move. It's not a smart move. And I just want y'all to be smart in everything that you do and see through the smoke screens. You can buy back all the guns you want. Until the United States of America stop allowing them to come into our country, it don't matter. Until you stop dropping them in our communities, it don't matter. It's not going to matter. It's frustrating to me to see these people who say they're experts at all this stuff and they can't get nothing right. They wasn't experts to begin with. They wasn't experts to begin with. It's a joke, though. I can tell you that. It's definitely a joke. I can tell you that, man. But the gun buyback program is on July 30th from 8 to 12 p.m. at Willard Avenue Baptist Church. When you go to drop your gun off saying, "I love the Lord, He heard my cry," you might be crying when you leave that place. You just might be crying when you leave that place. Should women be unarmed right now? No, they're targets. Should seniors be unarmed right now? No, they're targets. Should we not have firearms in our house? No, we will become targets. Should we not have them on our person, in our cars, when we ride? No, because we will become targets. So somebody give me a valid reason why we should turn our guns in. Why? Why should we turn them in? Don't worry about it, because it's not going to happen to the degree that it's going to happen. But I'll tell you what they're going to do. They're going to fluff the numbers. They're going to make it look like thousands of guns were turned in. Question is where you get them from. You definitely ain't getting them from the citizens of Houston. I don't know nobody right now that wants to turn their gun in at all. I don't know anybody right now that wants to turn their gun in. Do not allow yourself or your family to become a target, because this political propaganda is being spit out by these people. Now, I would have felt better if they'd have did it at Willard Avenue at Baptist Church and somewhere in the Galleria. But you're doing it strictly in the black neighborhood. The same thing you did with the jab. You came straight to our community with that foolishness. You came straight to our community with that foolishness. Every time you trying to make a mountain out of a molehill, you come to the black community. You don't go to the Latino community. You don't go to the white community. You do not go to the Asian community. You come straight to the black community. And the question is why? Because we are suckers. We fall for the bullshit that they keep shooting down the pike every single time. They should have did this all over and had multiple spots. But you know them people not finna let you come into River Oaks. You know them people not finna let you do that in Katy. Cinco Ranch. God forbid they try to do that in Fort Bend. On the wrong side of Fort Bend. It's just not gonna happen like that. To me, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. This governmental system wants to disarm black people. This is my opinion. It's not yours. It's just mine. They want to disarm us. So everybody else, just sit back for a second. They want to disarm us because if the Los Angeles riots didn't show you but one thing, that if you piss black people off enough and we click up, you can't handle us. And see, right now, what's happening is what I said was going to happen, Demetri K. Their biggest fear was the day we took the guns off us and turned it on them. Them youngsters, yeah, they still out there wilding on each other. But they constantly turning them guns on them other races. That was your biggest fear. That was your biggest fear, that these youngsters would take these guns off of each other and turn them on other people. So you really are trying to disarm us. You're trying to disarm us. See, real gun legislation didn't happen until the 1960s. When the Panthers figured out they could pack guns, they changed the laws in the state legislation in California. When Bobby Seals walked on the floor, when they walked on that floor with them guns, they had to change those laws. We can't have these Negroes armed walking around like they walking. So is it really a fear? And this is a question I'm going to ask you guys. Is it really a fear of mass shootings, or the fact that black people are starting to own more guns than everybody else? Do the math. Check the data. Black people have decided to arm themselves. And that has become a major problem. You can't have these Negroes walking the streets talking to the police the way that they talking to them. And they got an AR-15 on their shoulder. You're really trying to disarm the black community. So if I'm wrong, why are you only doing this in the black community? See, we don't want to make this a race thing, but we want to tell the truth. If it ain't about disarming the black community, then why is the black community the only place you're doing it? Why is the black community the only place that you're doing it? Explain that. This is about disarming black people. Now, the whole goal is to disarm American citizens. I don't care what nobody, oh, it ain't about taking AR-15. Well, hold on. If it ain't about the other guns, then the buyback program should only speak of semi-automatic weapons, especially AR-15s, but it's talking about every type of gun. So if AR-15s are the problem, why you need people to turn in all these other guns? Because you want us to be unprotected. Mr. Mayor, I wish you the best of luck finishing your term, screwing up our city as much as you screwed it up. I wish Commissioner Ellis the best of luck. Maybe you can build some more goddamn bike lanes that we don't need. But coming up with tangible solutions is not something that these people are doing. Let me put Kristen Martin's comment up. Let me go over here. Kristen said, don't worry. The Attorney General is watching the white people at school board meetings and compiling the red flag list. Well, she's not lying, because that's what they're doing. They're trying to silence people at school board meetings. And you want to know why? Because this COVID money, they have about a year or two left. They have about 2 years left to get all these billions of dollars. And they don't want anybody questioning them as to where this money is going. This is why white parents are catching so much goddamn hell in these school board meetings. I watched these people in Hinesville, Georgia. This black school board member said that this white constituent had threatened her. Yeah, he had video of, talking. Not one threat issued. They gave this man a restraining order. I called the superintendent of that school district and I said, you can have a restraining order, but you can't stop him from speaking at a meeting. I say, I don't care if you put a microphone in the back of the room if he has to stay 50 feet away. He gets to speak, and he can speak directly to her in a school board meeting. So they had the meeting, I think last night or the night before. Somebody listened, because they had a microphone in the back of the room. This is me making a phone call to Georgia, because I'm like, y'all don't get it. You can't play with people's constitutional rights. And see, I see a lot of people doing what they do out here, from the activism side, from the advocate side, and you're not getting any results. Because one, you have not mastered basic common law. And the Constitution protects our rights to bear arms. And that's why I say it's up to you if you want to give your gun up. But in Harris County, you crazy as hell to do that right now. You're crazy as hell. And watch when they do it. How many black elected officials are going to show up and act like this is what we should be doing? Fuck you. No, not now. Maybe 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago. But right now, you crazy as hell. If you want to give your gun up, I got some beachfront property in the middle of the ship channel, I can see. I got a mansion in the middle of the ship channel that I can see. If you believe that, you're crazy. This is not the time. It's not safe. And this is not going to make it safer. This is going to make it worse. When I sit and I talk, or I stand at the podiums and I talk to these people, they refuse to listen. If you give up your guns, you are going to become a target. You will not be able to protect you or your family. So I think they need to go back to the drawing board and figure out what they can do. Because if not, you're going to get more people hurt. We're already dealing with these rolling blackouts with the lights and all that. Wait till a hurricane come through here and you ain't got no gun. Wait till the laws can't get to where they need to get to because it done flooded again. They gonna show you. These jackals and killers gonna show you. And you Negroes are going to be the ones who don't have the protection. Curtis say, if they want the gun so badly, why not buy them back at full value? I agree. It's not for safety. This is for control. Exactly. They want to disarm us. They want to disarm us. And then that way they can come through and they can control us. Thunder said these criminals were no lights, no water, and no food. And it's after hurricane. They want folks to be unarmed. I mean, once they figure out you unarmed, they gonna show you. And see, we ain't got a hurricane like we should normally get in a few years. We ain't got one of them. We ain't had one of them bad floods for a minute. You remember when we got flooded, man, with that hurricane? I mean, couldn't nobody move. Nobody. That's when they were breaking into Fiesta, stealing all the meat, stealing all the food. The police were just crippled. They couldn't move. They couldn't do anything. Would you want to be the person that does not have protection for your home because these people are out here with these games? I don't think you want to be that person, man. But I tell you what, I'll leave that up to you. I'll leave that up to you. I'll leave that totally up to you. You know, I will say this here before I close out. I don't have a sticker on my forehead. My last name is Monroe, not Charms. And what I mean by that, I ain't no goddamn sucker. Say, man, it's a reason I'm the best in the business. Every night, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Tonight, we were talking about the mayor's new gun buyback program which is going to get a whole bunch of people hurt. Go call your people and put this on repeat and tell them I am the 5-star general. Until tomorrow.